Oh, I see. For
you are leading. Actually, whatever activities you do will inspire Amravati and help.
like is leading in the education.
If you put in the quantum computer and all that.
That we are working on. Have a seat.
It's so nice to see you.
I think he's a community leader.
Wow, nice. Next time.
He's the kind of person who is very connected.
And he was a very popular doctor. This one, right? You stay in the same place?
Same place. It's more than what I did. It's more than what I ever done. He came to university in LA.
చెప్పు కింద రిసీవ్ పైకి వస్తాను
Oh, very good. I see. So nice to meet you.
సార్ ఒక్క సార్ సార్ వస్తున్నా
He runs our schools. Oh, okay. The school strength is almost 90%.
How many schools?
He runs
The video and the
perfect was
Madhumurthy Garu, Honorable Chairman, Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education. A very special welcome to our esteemed host, Dr. Alapatti Ravindra Garu, Chairman, NRI Institute of Technology, and Sri Alapatti Rajendra Prasad Garu, Secretary and Correspondent, NRI Institute of Technology, whose vision, dedication, and leadership remarkable session where ideas meet opportunities and learning meets leadership. Thank you.
With grace and cultural elegance, we are pleased to present a classical welcome dance by P. Tejas.
Thank you, sir. We are also privileged to welcome our guest of honor, Professor K. Madhumurthy Garu, the chairman of APSCHE, to the dais. Please welcome, sir.
Hey, don't. Auto. Hello. Mama, candle. Mama, candle.
Progress, transformation, and limitless possibilities. And today we are deeply honored and truly blessed to have with us a distinguished leader of technologies closer to India in making Microsoft's innovations more relevant to the needs of our nation. You have shown how technology can empower people, transform business, and strengthen institutions like us, helping them grow in the era. Your presence here at NRIIT Technology today, every day, that students have the opportunity to meet someone who has directly tools and technologies that define our modern world. In today's fast-changing landscape, where technology is advancing at an unprecedented pace, India stands tall as one of the strongest adopters of innovation. We are equally privileged today to welcome our respected chairman of whose vision for enhancing the quality of higher education continues to shape the future of the academic institutions of our state. He's a great man. Our own chairman of NRI Institute of Technology, Dr. Ravindra Alapati, who born and brought up here and went to abroad, and now he to serve the education. That is how we started this education. Big abroad. With a noble vision of imparting quality education, how we established NRI architect, philosophical country in a different mode. Sir, your dedication to serving your motherland is truly not only inspiring to me, let us take a moment to appreciate the rare opportunity we have today. There are few gentlemen are on the dais. One is Mr. Sagar, who started like us by name VYIT Society. We all have to thankful to services to the motherland. Apart from that, in every inch of my life, especially in politics, running a kids engineering college in my own district. Apart from that, there are Sanjay, who is the principal, and Executive Director, Mr. Sitaramaya, for helping this institution. Chairman of AP Higher Education, Madhumurthy Garu, and Ravindra Alapati Garu, and the dignitaries on the dais, and our dear students. Let's make the most of this. Thank you to everyone, to everybody.
Address the gathering. Please, sir.
Good morning to all of you. My beloved children, he is also a professor, so he is a thoroughbred professor. And Sagar Garu, he and I, from now, Amravati will be one of the biggest cities in the world, not in the nation, but in the world. And Rajiv Kumar Garu, all. Now, I just don't want to take more time, but a brief thing. The land we are sitting and standing is a bastion of rural agricultural economy. This is being rewritten or rewriting innovations, eradicating the poverty and providing a better life for the next generation. To go into a little bit of personal, outside of work, I was told that I am not a technologist. My brother, who is a politician, has described technology in detail and
Development Center, Hyderabad. Sri Alapati Ravindra Garu, Sri Alapati Rajendra Prasad Garu, Vidyasagar Garu, Subbarao Garu, other dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, faculty members, dear student friends. It's a great day today to have such stalwarts all gathered here. Educationists who have been promoting the act of philanthropy. In addition to affording us an opportunity to make our careers, particularly in such changing times. As we all understand, things have been changing at a rapid pace, and technology has been transforming every aspect of life. The way we teach, the way we learn, the way we live, work and network, all things have been changing. We've come about addressing the challenges, taking up the opportunities, and making best out of all this. In this particular context of changing times, changing trends, changing technologies, I think we as learners, lifelong learners, be it students, faculty, or the administrators, we all have the responsibility to understand what's happening and what is likely to happen, to bring those changes that would make us future ready. Today is a great day in the context of, this is my first visit to this institute, great institute, and I have great regard for my former chairman of the institute that I served, Alapati Rajendra Prasad Garu. He was the chairman of the National Institute of Technology, Regional Engineering College at that point of time when I was serving at that institute. He has been driving technical education at that particular point of time for the combined state of Andhra Pradesh. And he is driving education, and particularly with respect to the context of NRIIT, he has been making good use of his experience and opportunities to provide such sort of a forum for people to learn, to grow, to gain, and to prosper. Sir, my respects to you. And for all the philanthropists like Alapati Ravindra Garu and many more in front of me who have been doing yeoman service to the education forum. We have Rajiv Kumar here today, a true professional from the industry. He brings deep insights and great exposure and experiences of industry. We should all realize, not to belittle academics, but there are things that are also equally important for us to be successful in life. As things change, things have been changing much faster. What it was 5 years back is not what it is today. The change has been unprecedented. And the type of changes in behavior of individuals and the attitudes that we carry had also been tremendous. Some for the positive sake, and probably many for us to learn even more. In that particular context, we have to understand the changing dynamics of the economy, of the technologies that we come about. For the benefit of Sri Rajiv, I would also like to mention, sir, we as the state of Andhra Pradesh have envisioned a roadmap for the development of the state of Andhra Pradesh. They call it Swarnandhra. It's not a slogan, it's a commitment. It's a commitment for progress. As we all know, in the development of this particular state, which has been bifurcated, which has got resource crunch, the state government has been focusing on development through knowledge and innovation. Basically, it has been investing on science and technology, R&D, skilling, and digital infrastructure. These are the basic objectives with which the state has been going through. And it tries to transform the aspirations of the people by accomplishments through education, entrepreneurship, and inclusive development with technological excellence. These are the objectives that the state has framed for itself. As I have already made a mention, we are undergoing a resource crunch, but we have a progressive government, and not only a progressive, but a visionary, with a visionary drive. In that particular sense, this is the place, a happening place. The Chief Minister, the visionary Chief Minister, has come up with the Quantum Valley Declaration, and we are expected to have the Quantum Valley initiated by 2026 Jan. And I know Microsoft is a partner coming up with its own contribution to the the Quantum Valley. As part of the education system. All the technical educational institutions have now taken up the responsibility of preparing those professionals into quantum technologies. Quantum has been heard of, but not many have known what quantum technology happens to be. Until recently, when our Honorable Chief Minister has come up with the declaration, now it's a street talk here in Andhra Pradesh. We have been able to come up training our faculty, almost 700 of them, on quantum technologies. We have also been able to come up in our curriculum revision to introduce quantum as minor subjects, trying to prepare or train ourselves on various activities. In fact, the hackathon that we have conducted on quantum technologies has imbibed a lot of enthusiasm on all campuses. There are about 3,000 teams that have participated with more than 20,000 people exposed to quantum technologies. Students have never been taught what quantum is. It was self-learning that brought them to address 10 problem statements that have been prepared. The service that is being rendered by these technical institutions could be understood by the type of preparation that they are offering to the students, the encouragement that they provide. Sir, I bring to your notice that we look forward to several such initiatives where now Wiser is helping us to train some more. From 5th of November, there's a free program commencing on quantum technologies. I bring to the notice of all here, faculty as well as students, please enroll yourself for this program being offered by Wiser. Wiser stands for Washington Institute of STEM, and so please go ahead registering for this program. There is also a program being planned from NPTEL and SWAYAM in the month of January. By the time of March 2026, we need Algorithm Zoo. A similar sort of a portal is being planned, which would be launched very soon. Sir, in this particular context, your presence here today addressing a very relevant topic of the technological trends and to prepare the future-ready students would be so very relevant to give insight to what is more necessary and what education is to be imbibed in these youngsters. So this has a very relevant aspect of not only initiating several collaborative mechanisms, but also to have a major role of thrust on areas that we need to focus and prepare so that Andhra Pradesh would be a leading factor in all courses of development as we had been known for software development.
Imagine this world without Microsoft, not even this speech. Indeed, this speech is drafted by data obtained from Microsoft Bing Search in a Microsoft Edge browser with the help of Copilot and drafted in Microsoft Word and printed using Microsoft Print. Perhaps imagining a world without Microsoft is like trying to imagine a world without the widespread influence of technology. Building on foundation laid by Bill Gates to Rajiv Kumar wings. From Microsoft evolved with ease, from code to cloud, from Office to 365, from Microsoft Windows to today's Azure Sky, and from software license to cloud subscriptions. We cordially invite Mr. Rajiv Kumar Garu to share his insights and expertise on latest innovations.
start by saying Andriki Namaskaram.
Please stand up and give a
Ela unnaru?
going ovation.
So nice.
Give a big clap.
In Kaizala is designed to get your work done in an unstructured chat-like interface, and that is the aha. We help our customers get the work done through this entity called cards. The cards are nothing but mini applications. And the best part is you don't have to download it, you don't have to install it, you don't need to uninstall it. It just comes when you need and it goes away.
So in this, we discovered the idea of purely large groups. We started asking ourselves, what does it mean? The unique answer we came up with here was group of groups.
When you build such a large group, one of the risks is that it becomes...
That side bench, when I was driving from Vijayawada to here, I could almost feel I was back home because I've crossed so many small villages, very rural setting. When the place I was born, did not have water, did not have electricity. I grew up in a small village in a farm. It just happened that I was in a school, there was a good school. See how education changes life? I happened to be born in a city, in a small village that had a school called St. Xavier's. I went there, class 10, my father gut said, maybe you should go to Calcutta St. Xavier's. I ended up in Calcutta St. Xavier's. There, I found a balanced life. I came back to India to meditate actually, not to work. But I found time because me and my wife thought in India we'll get time, so we do meditate. We continue to learn. I'm learning tabla. I can play it on bhajans. That was my goal. I have 2 daughters and 1 wife. Good problem to have. That's the right numbers. So that I love traveling. Travel to almost 28 countries in the world. And 7th continent I'm going in December in the South Pole. This December, so I'll go on 7th. And then for health, I do yoga and cycling. I just thought I put that in perspective so that the rest of the talk will tie to who I am. So if you look at the world, last 1,000 years, and you look at the growth of how the world changed, transformed, for the first 500 years, not much transformation, because it was very locked world. There was no technology. The first big technology that unlocked power of human being was printing press. AI is very similar to printing press, by the way, and I'll tell you how. When printing press happened, you could take knowledge and print it and send it to other places. Otherwise, before printing press, you have to be born in the city where that person knows the knowledge and transfer that, or you have to travel. So that was the first unlock. So you see the GDP went from 0.4 to 1x, and then as the last 50 years, probably my life, probably have seen the maximum amount of innovation. Right from, well, electricity and steam engine, that happened before I was born. But a lot of it is in the last 50 years, I'll talk about that. But the more technology happened, the more GDP grew. In fact, if you look at the next slide, India benefited because of the third revolution. The first revolution was about industrialization, where people went from building things at home at small scale to large scale. They used steam engine, they used machines powered by like physical power. But then the second industrial revolution happened when the electricity was born, where we could actually take a machine and automate it. It could run 24/7. And the third one happened with the silicon, with the computer science coming in, which was in 70s and 80s and 90s and 2000, last 50 years. And that, if you look at the next slide, go to the next slide. If you look at India, this is India's GDP. When I came back to India in 2003, after working there for 15 years, the GDP was about 700 billion. That's it. Now there are people who have that much money, but 1% close to that. And in the last 20 years, our GDP has gone from 700 billion to almost 4 trillion. So thanks to our and all the our leaders, country leaders who have really transformed the country, but there's only one technology that has changed India's perception in the world, and that's IT. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand the power of one technology changing what my knowledge of computer science. I'll talk some more later, but let me just keep going. The last one I'm going to talk about is AI. AI is actually an extension of software, because it's just a different kind of software. This is not a software that runs on CPU, it runs on GPU. It's a software that knows, it basically has learned from us through data. So I'm going to talk about in detail a little bit color of what AI is in very simple terms, so that you understand what is going to change. After AI, it will be quantum. We are working on that. But the next generation, the next 30 years is really about AI, 25 to 30 years. And quantum will come, it will slowly grow up, but AI is here and now. So what makes AI more interesting? Let me talk about that. Let's go to the next slide. So I'm going to talk about generative AI in a moment, and I'll also talk about what does it take for you to capitalize on that. How can you take advantage of the new technology? That's the rest of the speech. So this AI is actually a profound technology. I have been in this for almost 30 years. When I joined Microsoft in 1992, the PC wasn't very popular, by the way. It was, if you're aware, Windows 3.0 had just shipped in 91. It was not very successful. It was really in 92 when we shipped with 3.1 that it took off. So it was a PC era in 1990s. Then came the dot-com boom, the internet, in 2000. From internet came 2007. From that came the cloud in 2015. So these are the technologies. It's as simple as three things. Number one thing is AI. First time ever in the history of mankind, AI understands us. Till AI, this generative AI was born, we had to understand AI. We had to understand technology. We had to understand what command to put. My mom, my sister could never do it. First time ever, the software understands human being. You can talk in your language and it can respond in any language you want. That's the number one difference. The second is, it has reasoning engine. Reasoning engine meaning, let me just go to each slide. And then the memory, it will learn who you are. So the first one is, go to the universal interface. Go back, one line. Yeah, this one. This, as I was saying, basically, you can talk to any language and it will understand you. You can say, I will talk in Hindi, you respond in English. It will do that. Anything, and it can actually have a conversation. It has learned from the data, all the internet data, every data on the planet that we have fed it. It takes almost 6 months to teach. It's like kids. It learns from us. Kids learn from us, right? We tell them, don't do this, do this. This is how you speak, this is how not. That's what we have done to the computer now. So that's why computer can understand, when you say something, it understands what you're saying and respond. Sometimes it makes mistake, by the way. Kids also make mistakes. This is only 2-year-old, by the way. Imagine what will happen in 20 years. So it will really get better. So that's number one. Number two is a reasoning engine. It can reason. If you tell something to do, it will figure out, like, I go from Earth to Moon. It will figure out 2 or 3 ways to calculate and tell you, these are the different ways, but I think this is better. Just like human being. That's the second difference that we never had before. No technology had that before. Third is memory. Starting to understand. My name is Rajiv. I live in Hyderabad. Sometimes I visit in Seattle. So when I say, tell me the best, whatever your favorite food is, MLA dosa or whatever it is, knowing where I am, it will tell me. It knows that I like this kind of food. It knows I am in Seattle right now, and it will tell me Seattle address, not Hyderabad address. But when I'm traveling to Vijayawada or to Guntur, it will tell me, it knows I'm in Guntur. He will tell, the system will tell the Guntur addresses to go to. Sankaralaya, right? Okay. Now, it is absolutely having impact on everything. Education. There are teachers who are taking an education institute like this. You can actually, of course, as a student, you can ask all the answers. But teachers can also figure out all the questions for you to be able to, so that they can create the question paper, for example. The education will change dramatically because now this AI can teach you the way you know how to learn. It will understand how much you know, what mistakes you have made in the past, and it will help you. Healthcare, being able to, I know my friend Dr. Ravi will tell me that you can't replace doctors, and I agree, we can't replace doctors, but it will assist doctors. It will look at all the data and tell this may be wrong. So it is assisting and making the diagnosis more precise. You take any, like we are working with Andhra Pradesh government, with UP government to advise farmers how the soil quality is. Are you understanding too fast? Is good? Okay. We are working so that we can tell farmers what to sow. Depending on what we know about the rain will happen or not happen, the quality of the moistness of the soil, we advise the farmers to be able to get better crop, you know. So there is lot of, every aspect of human being will get impacted with AI, let me tell you that. Every aspect. Okay, so that's very profound. I just wanted to summarize what I said before. Basically, in my own short life of 30 years, many action points have come. PC, followed by internet, followed by mobile, then cloud, and now AI, and then it will be quantum. But quantum is next. I think AI is here and now. Okay? The question is, you will ask, the question is, what do you do? Because anything you learn will be obsolete in 10 years. So the question is not what you know, but what you are. Who do you need to be to succeed in the next 20, 30, 40 years? That's your question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share what I have learned in Microsoft in 33 years from one of the best offer in January of 1992, and they made me an offer saying, Rajiv, you are selected and you are going to work on compiler. Those who are in computer science, you understand compiler, right? And I called them back and said, I don't know anything about compiler. In fact, I think I'm scared of compiler because the compiler class, I did not do well. And that lady, that recruiter said something that changed my life. She said, Rajiv, we don't hire people for what you know, but we think that you can know. See, that's profound. It's not what you know, it's about what you can know. And you know, I worked on the compiler for 9 years. 12 of my 25 patents in compiler. So my point is, if you put your effort, you will learn it. Anyway, I meet Dennis Kennedy that day. Save his soul. He is no longer there. He passed away in COVID. One of the best leaders I have worked for personally. So on June 29th, he takes me around. The Microsoft was a small company, but it's a startup, like 4,000 people. I'm just, people were saying, why are you joining Microsoft? It's such a small company. It's no good. Go to some other company. But still, I joined Microsoft because they grilled me. They interviewed me 8 times. They asked me the hardest question. And I thought, these people really know something. I need to work with them, so I joined them. But I had 2 jobs. I know this is not in this book, but I'll tell you the story. I had 2 jobs. Microsoft, Schlumberger. Oil company, $60,000 a year. Microsoft, $29,000 a year. I charged myself. You know why? Because they really grilled me. I want you to learn, not so money. Don't run after money. That's probably one of the best decisions in my life. I think I have to correct myself. Second best. The first was to marry my wife in my class. This was the second best decision in my life. Anyway, so Because I remember in 22 years I went from village to Redmond, and I met these people who were world-class software engineers. I met Tim Patterson. Tim Patterson is the person who sold DOS operating system to Bill Gates for $50,000, and that became Windows, DOS. And PC came from that. I meet him and I'm saying, look, I don't know compiler. They put me in this compiler team. All these people are PhDs in compiler. What do I have a chance to succeed in this place? I'm going to fire me. You know? He read that fear in my face. And at the end of the class, of the day, he came back to desk and he said, Rajiv, you know, all of these people are very smart. I think you are also smart, but I'll tell you how to succeed. And I was saying, please tell me, because I think that you will fire me after 1 year, because in front of these people, I have nobody. He said something that changed my life. He said, the way to differentiate, everybody is smart, Rajiv, but the way to differentiate is to work hard. That sentence changed my life. I did not look back. I worked 16 hours a day for many years until I got my first promotion. Then I realized after 1.5 years, I said, okay, I can fake it. They haven't figured out that I don't know. But anyway, so that's, work hard is important. Okay? So that's my first learning at Microsoft. Let's go. The second, I'm now going to get to the meat of my presentation. What did I learn from 3 CEOs? Each one are this is probably, go back, each one of these are like world-class people. Bill Gates, who created Microsoft in 1975. Satya, he really saved Microsoft. Amazing. He bought OpenAI. He put $4 billion in OpenAI to create ChatGPT and Copilot. He gets a lot of credit. And Steve Ballmer, like his energy is like so much. If he was in this room will be full of his energy. He's just so dynamic. So anyway, I have learned from these 3 people. I'm going to talk about these 3 people. The first one I want to talk about is I was a compiler. I told you I was in part of the compiler team, this technology team, and I had a young woman writing some piece of code, and I had hired a very senior person from the industry, John Hamby, and so she is like this lady was Sue Chan. She said, Rajiv, I'm going on vacation. I'll come back and finish this piece of work. No issues. I'm going for 2 weeks. I said, okay, great. I told John, the other person that she was working on this part, he said, I know this area, I'll do it. So I told, on Friday, I tell Sue, look, you go, have fun, you deserve to take a break, 2 weeks, have fun, but John is going to finish this project, and you can come back. She said, no, don't do that, I'll come back and finish. And I just took it casually, and she went, and John finished the project, he checked it in, and everything was fine. She comes on Monday, and Monday evening, she comes to my room very mad, saying, why did you let him do this piece of work? It's my work, I should do it. And I said, who cares? Let him do it. No, Rajiv, it was pride for her. She said, look, I already told you, I'm going to do it, and I want to do it. He should not do this. I'm going to check, I'm going to remove everything is done, and I'm going to redo it. I go to John Hamlin. I said, John, she's really upset. Please let her do it. And he said, I'm the most senior technologist in the world. You don't trust me? I said, John, but she's very upset. He said, okay, so you don't trust me then. I go back to Sue, saying, look, he's saying that he's a senior leader, you can't remove his stuff. She says, nothing doing, I'm going to redo it. I don't know what to say to whom. I was really in a bind. Do you see that? Both are right. What do I say? God's grace. Bill Gates writes a mail to everybody in Microsoft saying how to make good decisions. And I read there, he says many things. He says, it's already done, I'm going to redo it. I just didn't know at that point that I could go tell John, and this is my goal, and because of this I'm making this decision. See? So one of my, very early in my career, in the beginning of my management career, I learned to make good decisions. And good decisions requires, I later figured out why the hell I can't make decisions. You know what? I'm from a village, many of you probably have the same issue. When in small villages, when there is Diwali, or the mother and father will say, okay, eat this because you like it, wear this clothes. when you grow up to 25, marry this person, where do you make decisions? We don't get to make decisions. So, get the data, avoid analysis paralysis, but you have to develop that competency of making good decisions. Your decision changes everything. Okay? One decision can change your life. So anyway, so that, like I remember the day he was retiring, they had invited some people for his going a fairway dinner, and I was there. He was there, and I asked, oh, so you are quitting Microsoft, you want to do this philanthropy, you have a lot of money, so you spend the money. And he said he did not talk about money at all. What he talked was very phenomenal thing. He said, Rajiv, I've looked at all the data in the world, and there is 3 or 4 diseases that kills the early on, and those diseases are TB, HIV, malaria, all the disease that is outside of developed countries. Because if it was developed countries, they would have invented, they would have figured out a cure. But all these issues are the Africa and Asia problem, so I'm going to work on those issues. I'm going to go invent technology that can invent the medicine to solve this. See, what he was thinking is not short term, I have money and I'm going to distribute money, nothing like that. It was about long term. In long term, how do I have impact on the planet? That is something that you have to develop. And I think that I see that long term thinking here, by the way. You really are thinking long term of how to create universities that will change the state and the place. This is reflective of what Alapati Ravi Garu and Rajendra Garu is doing. So a lot of. Then the last one is taking risk. You have to take some risk. I remember, and I'll make it short in the interest of time. When we were Windows was successful in 1995, 96, we were going from 16-bit to 32-bit. The whole world did not know whether this transition will really happen from 16-bit computer to 32-bit computer. But Bill Gates took the risk of betting the whole company on that we are only going to develop 32 bits. And guess what? Within 3 years, Microsoft software became #1 in everything. Office was second. Lotus 150 was #1. WordPerfect was #1. And we just took over because he took the risk that the world is going to change and we have to capitalize on that change. So those are the 3 learnings from Bill Gates. He was our sales leader, high energy. If you meet him, he's big, he has this personality, this persona, presence, and great at networking because, of course, being a salesperson, you know how to make. So the 3 things I learned is having a presence. Let me tell you the story of my presence. See, I come from a very small place, right, village. If you go to the, in 1999, I became manager. In 2001, I became general manager. They promoted me quickly. And I remember going to these meetings. I would say something. And remember, I was Indian. I was in US that time, by the way. They're all white people. And there are some Indians. Right now, it's like a lot of Indians. That time, it was a lot less. And that time, my manager was Kavi Singh. So I started getting this issue that when I talk, people don't listen. So I go to Kavi's office, Kavi Singh, because he was Indian, I could talk more freely. I said, Kavi, what's wrong? This morning, I was in this meeting, I said something, nobody listened. Andrew said exactly the same thing, and everybody said, that's a great idea. What's wrong? And he said, yeah, I noticed that. I said, tell me why? And he says, you have no presence. I said, what do you mean I have no presence? He said, when you come in the room, nobody notices. When you sit there, nobody really cares. When you say nobody really is listening. I said, how do I fix it? And he said, I don't know. I said, okay, that's very helpful. You tell me I have a problem and you don't tell me the solution. So anyway, so he was amazing leader. He helped me get at least 3 or 4 life coach. Somebody was going to teach me how to speak. Somebody literally taught me how to dress up, how to sit, how to look eyes to eyes. You know, all those things matter. How you groom yourself, how you dress yourself, how you speak, the language you speak, the words you use, all those things matter. And those are learned abilities. Nobody is born with that. You all have to put effort to create your presence. Do you get it? Right? It's not that you just, thank you. So, second one is really about generating energy. Like when Steve Ballmer is in the room, his voice, his questions, his prodding just generates energy. Where you as a leader have to create the right team, world-class team. You have to, the one thing that really takes away the energy is your arrogance. You have to be humble, respectful yet confident. Humble, respectful yet confident. See, in India, people teach you like they say, don't talk to elders too much, don't look in the eyes. No, you should listen respectfully, but also say your point of view. If you don't put your point of view forward, then they will think you are passive-aggressive or you don't have a point of view. Even if you are thinking some good ideas, you have to speak up, is the biggest learning I've had. You have to speak up in a humble way, not arrogant way. It's my way only, but you have to speak in a way that is more humble. Networking is something I have learned from Steve. See, networking is being able to knowing people around you, right? And I know most of you are students. You have networking built in because you are all friends. You are in the same class all the time. But once you get to college, get out of college, you are working. You have to put effort to know people who can help you and learn from them, right? So I'm not going to talk too much because it may not be very relevant. My most favorite CEO is Satya. He is the one that he is from here, by the way. He is from IIT. His dad was an IS officer that served these areas. I'm sure he was stationed in Guntur and Vijayawada, Anandpur, I know for sure. So he's just, I have worked for Satya for 5 years. I came to India because he said, maybe you should go and check out India and see if there is something we can do there. And 20 years back, and I think now rest is history. India is the second largest Microsoft presence outside of Seattle. So that is, and most of it is under in Ghana. So that is what I learned from communication. See, what I learned from Satya is, he is so clear that you will say, okay, that makes sense to me. He will take a very complicated idea and say things in a way that you say, okay, I get it now. So in communication, there are a few things you have to remember. One is, communication is not about just you speaking. It's also listening. Listening with generosity. Listening to understand. And then responding with whatever idea you have after that. So that's the number one. The second thing he taught me was this. I was having dinner with him one night. After his keynote in San Diego, we went for dinner. And I was asking, how do you communicate so crisply, so clearly, with so much clarity? And he said that really had a lot of deep impact. He said, look, those who have learned software, you know, you create this flow chart, you start, then you have this step, and there's a branch, if, then, yes, no, then you have this. He said, communication is like that. You have to start, you have to know your story, you have to know your flow, and just stick to that flow. So in the meetings, when he gets distracted, people will rat hole and talk about something else. He will come back and say, okay, this is the point I made, this is the next point. Because in his mind, it's really a structured way, things that he needs to say. So that's something that I have learned from Satya. The second learning, I've traveled with him a lot because we are buying great planes in North Dakota. Then we are buying a company in Sweden, Exapta. And in all these flights, you know, I would be watching TV and he would be reading a book. I would get out of the plane and he would tell me what he read for the book. And I'm saying, like, that's so silly. He's my manager. He's reading and I'm wasting my time. What he taught me was continue to learn. He read stuff. He synthesized stuff. He shared that with me. And then I said, oh, I remember telling Satya, I really need to start reading books again. I got into meditation, and then I thought, okay, I don't want to do anything, I don't want to read, I don't want to do anything, I just want to meditate, but that's not right, you have to do both. So anyway, listen, the other thing is, you cannot, see there are two ways to learn. Either you can make mistakes and learn, or you can listen to others and learn. And reading book is just listening to others because somebody else is like that. But the point is that not only when you are in college, but more importantly, when you get out of the college, you have to remember you need to continue to learn. Doctors are the best. They can learn like for the rest of the year, right? The rest of their life, because things are changing. But engineers, we get lazy. And I think one of the reasons why Satya is where he is because every year he learns new things. He takes classes. Even now, he'll read stuff, he'll listen to podcasts, right? And that's something that I've learned from him. Creating clarity. See, this is an ability which is not easy, but something that differentiates a good leader. Things will be complex. And your idea, your goal is to take complex things and make it simpler. Not make it complicated. Make it simple by removing variables, by making assumptions, and then being able to communicate with your friends or your peers in company. So that's the final thing that I've learned from Satya is to ability to create clarity given a situation. I'm going to now, I hope I have time. Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about, see, this was all professional life. I'm going to share 3 learnings of my own learning. What I have learned independent of anybody else. The first, I think, is not only work hard, I said, but also balance your life. You know, you have to find time for everything that you care about. When I was coming to India, 3 things I'm going to talk about is work-life balance, grit, and fearlessness. Those are my 3 learnings. Work-life balance is interesting because if you go, next slide. See, when I go to IIT, like any IIT, any college, you know what people ask before joining Microsoft? They ask, how much money will you give me? Based on the money I'm going to, it's like you'll get day 0, day 1, day 2, day 3 in college. Then they say, what is the work you are going to give me? Money might be same, Microsoft, Google, but is it AI work, is it this work or that work, program management or developers? The third, so when you're 22-year-old, your priority is money first, then your work, quality of work, then your family, and then when your mother or father says, do some puja and stuff, then you spend some time on self-actualization or self-realization. So that is the order when you are young, when most of the kids are there, that probably resonates with you. But I asked my father, he was 88 years when he passed away. In 80s, I asked him, should I give you money? He said, no. Do you know what my father wanted when he was in 75 or after 70s and 80s? It was none of those 4, but it was health. You have to spend time on health. You have to prioritize time to find some activity that you do for health reasons. Then, when you are in the deathbed or you're in 85 plus 90, if you are self-realized, if you really are in this nirvana state, nothing matters. After that, what matters is your family, people you love, your kids, your parents, your peers. Do they give you any importance? Do they love you back? Last, least important in the last 10 years is how much money you have. Because as Steve Jobs said, being a billionaire in the coffin has no meaning. No meaning. You know, that clarity brought me back to India. People say, when I came back to India, people said, oh, he must be a failure. They pushed me out, he came to India back. Because in 2003, who comes to India? They all want to go to US. But but what brought me back, as I said, is really to find time to meditate. Also tell you, I don't know if you're too young, but people have midlife crisis. You know why midlife crisis is there? It's because they are stuck in the prioritization of 20 years old. And in US, what do? They buy new cars. They get new wife, new husband. Because they are still living in the age of 22, by the way. If they had the clarity that I have moved on and I'm going towards like 80, they will know that the prioritization has changed. So that clarity of life, you have to put the whole life in perspective. I think people in the front understand this far more than the back, but one day you will get it. All right? Okay, so next one is, I think is great. Life is never smooth. I've seen that. I've seen probably a dozen billionaires. I've worked with a dozen billionaires. All these people that I talk about, they're all billionaires, by the way. Whether it's Steve Ballmer or Bill or Satya, I've seen them close. It's not that their life was simple and easy and they always succeeded. They had bad days, they had good days. Grit, the definition of grit is you fail, you don't fall and give up, but you fall and you get up and learn what you learned, had to learn from that failure, and you try again with a new learning. And you fail and learn and fail and learn, and finally you'll succeed. Nobody succeeds in first time, let me tell you that. And my best quote is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is a basketball player, a billionaire by playing basketball. When he was in class 7 or 8, he was kicked out of the basketball game from his class. Because he said, like they said, we don't want you in my team, you are no good. He worked and worked and worked, and look at his quote, he says, I missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I lost almost 300 games where I could have done a shot and won. I failed and failed and failed again, and that's why I succeeded. That's what we have to remember. And my last learning is be fearless. Not be reckless. Fearless doesn't mean you do random things and kill yourself. Fearless means if you believe in something, you got to do that in spite of the high chance of failure. In fact, most of the time when you're deciding, when you have to make a decision, there are simple ways to do it, there's a hard way to do it. A lot of time what starts as simple becomes very difficult. What appears very hard becomes simple. You have to be fearless to take the path that you believe is right and then work on it. I had to teach. It took me 2 or 3 years to become fearless. In Microsoft, we are very email culture. So when we send email, we are afraid if I send email, what will people think? We call them fake mail. We just let you have like dash 3 people. I used to be fearful. I would not send those mails. But now I have become more comfortable because I tell myself, hey, if I was fearless, will I say this? If the answer is yes, I'll just say it. Because in the end, if you say the right thing with confidence, but with humbleness and respect, respectful, I think it turns around. The last one, the last is this. I've talked a lot, but I'll tell you, all these things become easy if you practice mindfulness. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know how much time I took, but
Sitaramaya garu, Telugu garu. How do you feel? Speeches. But this speech, that's how we make out and made out. వెరీ స్లోలీ మీ అందరినీ కలిసి వెళ్తారు. జస్ట్ మెల్లిగా వెళ్ళండి. బాపట్ల ఇంజనీరింగ్ కాలేజ్, మై డియర్ శ్రీనివాస్, జస్ట్ అవసరం.
साइड करना रहा
सर सर साइड सर క్లోజ్ చేసుకోండి. డోర్ కిందకి రాలి ఉండాలి. వెళ్ళిపో కిందకి చెప్పు.
ఓకే
and their curiosity and their patience to learn. That just shows how good this university is, this college is, and I was impressed with the vision that the NRI Institute of Technology and Ravi Garu and Raja Garu, they are doing something that is just heartwarming, because they are changing the country by educating students and kids from nearby villages. So a lot of gratitude to Raja Garu and Ravi Garu do such amazing job of help in whatever way we can. There's a lot of discussions when now and in the past. You saw the video how we had built Kaizala for Pushkaram. So that's the level of commitment we have to help the government and this country, India and the state. Back, I've listened to his vision of quantum. It is very inspiring, and I'm glad that a visionary leader like CM Sir Chandrababu Naidu Garu is leading the thought process of bringing quantum to this country. All the best wishes for making that happen.
Is it possible to reach the target of January?
That I don't know exactly when the target is, but these are long-term investments, and then you have to take baby steps. Though it might take many years to fructify the vision, but he has to set every quarter, every 6 months, every year goal, and I'm glad that he is pushing that actually. And he's really, and I was impressed to hear, you name it, everything will get impacted. And I am actually seeing that the country is stepping up. I see universities where they are teaching AI now quite quickly. They have built in curriculum for AI curriculum. In fact, I was impressed to hear about quantum curriculum that was taught today in NRI Institute today, and that they are introducing that to all the students. I think these are very forward-leaning in steps that will keep the country on the forefront. Of course, people talk about the challenges. There will be challenges. Like, look, every technology comes with benefits and theoretical. These people can make
say, hey, this is not good, that's not good. But in the net, it is really a transformative technology that we have to leverage and to make our country better. Look at how India has improved. Starting from Hyderabad, because I was in Hyderabad, from Telangana, AP, that one AP, like they did things that every state is doing. Right?
One more development in Andhra Pradesh, particularly in India.
ఎందుకంటే ఈరోజు ఉన్నటువంటి కళాశాలలో చదువుతున్నటువంటి విద్యార్థులు ఇలాంటి గొప్ప వ్యక్తులు వచ్చి వారి యొక్క స్వీయ అనుభవాన్ని అదేవిధంగా సాంకేతిక పరంగా ఎప్పుడైతే చెప్తూ ఉన్నారో అది ఎంతోమంది మీద ప్రభావం చూపిస్తూ ఉంటుంది. ఈవెన్ దోస్ హూ ఆర్ నాట్ హ్యావింగ్ ద నాలెడ్జ్ అబౌట్ ద టెక్నాలజీ ఆల్సో ఇన్స్పైర్డ్ ఉంది. ఆ రకంగా ఈ రోజున ఎవరికైనా సరే అందరికీ కూడా అందుబాటులో ఉండే ఏ రకంగా ఉండబోతుంది, ఏ రకంగా క్వాంటమ్ టెక్నాలజీ ఉండబోతుంది, ఏ రకంగా పీసీ నుంచి ఏ రకంగా ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అయింది.
థ్యాంక్స్ చెప్పండి. మీకు కూడా థ్యాంక్స్.
ఫోటో తీపించండి. అడిగల ఫోటో తీపించండి. పక్కన పెద్ద తాత నువ్వు ఇటు వచ్చి థ్యాంక్ యూ.
They were in some other hall. So that's